And now, from the studios of Earthcast Radio in the sweltering heat of the Arizona desert, it's time for the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast. With your host, 6'10" Raunch Foxxx, the smokescreen machine, Hollywood, and our daily dose of southern discomfort, Bubba Ganoush. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for another great ride. Here's your host, Raunch Foxxx.
All right, everybody. What's going on? It's Raunch Foxxx with you, and this is Earthcast Radio, the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, episode number 14, everybody. We made it through Lucky 13 last week, and here we are together again for the first time this week after so much going on out there in the news, in each other's lives, and individually speaking. And speaking of individuals, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you first a brand new sponsor of our show, and the website is called littleurls.com. It's LILURLs.com. It is a link shortener service similar to Bitly. However, this service allows you to make money by shortening your links, putting them out all over the internet, measuring the traffic, and you will get paid for the traffic that you spread. And if you refer people to littleurls.com, you can receive up to a 20% commission. That's our first sponsor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Hollywood and Bubba Ganoush. And you guys didn't even know about that sponsor, Little URLs. You're going to have to go to littleurls.com and check it out. What's up, Paulie?
Yo, Raunch, how you doing, man?
Hey, you're listening to it. You know, I just had some shrimp tacos. Shrimp tacos, not to be confused with a little person's vagina. Shrimp tacos made by the restaurateur, chef extraordinaire. She comes up with some good stuff because she goes on Pinterest and she looks up these bomb-ass, these recipes. They're just so good. It's the best shrimp taco I've ever had in my life. And I'm not saying it because I can get laid later. I'm saying it because they truly were delicious. So,
well, it sounds like you eat like a king just about every day, Raunch.
You would think so, right? If I can only get rid of this big throne above my belt, I'd be a lot happier, so I'm working on it. How about you, Bubba? What's up, buddy?
I'm good, man. Y'all get pretty fresh shrimp there in the desert?
Yeah, we actually do. You know, you got to find a man-made lake out there, and you got to wash the sand off the shrimp. You got to wash the sand off the shrimp and all that good stuff.
I heard that desert shrimp's delicious.
It really is. It really is, as long as they're not out in the sun and they're overcooked and a little dry. You know, it's kind of like desert crabs, if you know what I'm saying.
They put lotion on your shrimp?
Absolutely, man. Good stuff. So there we are. We got Paulie Wood. We got Bubba Ganoush. Yours truly, Raunch Foxxx. We are here together again. And, man, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to make fun of the news. We got some serious stuff in the news. We got a brand new segment that Bubba Ganoush is going to be bringing you. We're going to tell you right up front. It's, you know, he comes from the social media world. So why not have a guy that comes from the social media world that knows all the gossip, all the poop, and not necessarily just from one particular broadcast network, but from people across the internet, because he's been around for such a long time. We have a segment. It's called Bubba's Social Spitecast. Is that right?
That sounds right to me.
Is that right? What it is? Bubba's Social Spitecast. And let me tell you, all these little blog people and everybody else that think they got it, you got nothing on the man, because he's now kicking it on Earthcast Radio, and this is going to get out above and beyond, international, around the world, and maybe a few aliens on a couple planets out there are going to pick it up as well and say, who the hell is that and what is that site? So we're looking forward to that. And, of course, Hollywood is going to be kicking it, and we're going to find out why you should and should be eating or drinking certain things, and we're going to allude to all of that later on and how it affects children's bodies and all that. We got some sick stuff to talk about, and I'm pretty excited. In the meantime, did either of you see Godzilla 3D yet?
No, I have not, and I got to be honest. I've seen some reviews. I've heard some things about it, and it's becoming a. It sounds like it's not really a very good movie.
Well, that's not what I'm hearing at all. I'm hearing for the people that go out for effects and all of that. First of all, it's not a good movie in the sense that they want storyline. You got to remember, Godzilla, there's been 28 Godzilla movies. Let's start there. So as far as storyline, all they can do is make it a little more current. As far as effects, they say it is awesome, right down to his wrinkled knees and his cankles. So they say that the effects are awesome, and that's why I went to like Transformer movies and stuff like that to see the effects. That's the only reason I'm going. I pretty much know the Godzilla deal. I was watching Godzilla movies before either one of you were born. But here's the catch. It opened up this weekend, huge ticket sales, and yeah, I'm getting mixed reviews as well, Paulie, but 8 out of the 10 people I talked to, they enjoyed it because they were into it for the effects. But
you gotta know what you're going in for. You gotta know what you're in for when you walk in there.
Right, but you gotta admit the trailers are pretty good. They're pretty. They do their job. When I watch, it's like, damn, I want to go see that. But a lot of times when you see that on a trailer, that's usually the best part of the movie. So damn, But anyway, like I'm saying, it opened up this weekend. They had huge ticket sales. 28 Godzilla movies. Now, some of those movies included things like Son of Godzilla, Godzilla versus Mothra, and of course, Keeping Up with the Godzillas. Now, what you got to remember also, another X-Men movie is coming out. It's called Days of Future Past. I do like the X-Men movies, and it's coming to theaters. In this episode, Wolverine is going to meet his arch nemesis, and that's Jock Itch. You guys doing anything Memorial Day?
Yeah, I usually do something every year.
Oh, very cool. Well, it's near. I mean, all companies are going to raise a flag and salute the veterans. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the price of gas. Kanye and Kim Ye, Kardashian-mush, that fucking Kanye West. They're getting married in Florence.
Yay.
Yeah, right. Who cares, right? But they asked everybody to respect their privacy and don't tell Bruce Jenner. Don't tell him. I don't know. Bruce Jenner, soon to be Betty Jenner, the way it's going, that guy. Holy cow. Mark Zuckerberg. He's having a birthday. Guess how old Mark Zuckerberg is?
Oh, he's got to be in his early 30s now. What is it, 32?
What do you think, Bub?
I was going to guess mid-30s.
Yep, well, he's 30. 30! He just turned 30. Happy birthday, Mark Zuckerberg. If you want to give him a present, he's registered at Bed Bath & Beyond, a billionaire. Monica Lewinsky. She's back in the news. She wrote an article in the June issue of Vanity Fair where she discusses her lewd conduct with Billy Clinton in the Oval Office, and which led to his impeachment. She said if it wasn't for Bill Clinton, she'd be a mother with 2 kids by now. But not the way she was doing it. Yeah. Also, the Census Bureau, they reported a 60% increase in people bicycling to work over the last 10 years. They're not all commuting. I mean, if you see a 50-year-old man on a bicycle in Los Angeles, actually, folks, he's working out. If you see a 50-year-old man on a bicycle in Texas, he got DUI. Football, Johnny Manziel, is that your boy? Do you like him? Paulie?
Oh, I feel bad for the guy. He went to the team where quarterbacks pretty much go to die. Third guy to be taken in that 22 spot in the first round by the Browns in the last 10 years, and I think he's going to have just as great a career as the rest of them.
Well, the Cowboys passed on him. He ends up in Cleveland. One scouting report called him a spoiled brat with outlaw bloodline, so the Cowboys missed a chance to return to the offense that won them 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? NBC is developing a TV adaptation of the musical The Music Man. Well, almost. It's aimed at the nation's growing senior population. It features a traveling drug salesman who cons retirement home residents by guaranteeing regularity. They're going to be calling it the Metamucil Man. Aaron Hernandez, remember that guy, the murder suspect from the New England Patriots?
That's right, the tight end who was arrested last year. What's going on with him?
Well, he had that $40 million contract back in 2012. He got charged with murdering the 2 guys outside of Boston nightclub. Well, if convicted, he faces a sense of life without the possibility of Hall of Fame. Also in the news, there's an Iowa couple who stopped in McDonald's drive-thru. They bought Big Macs. They discovered, listen to this, Bubba, they discovered that the Big Macs were laced with pot.
Yeah, bonus.
Well, it turns out they misunderstood, I mean, they misunderstood the speaker in the Ronald McDonald cutout because, anyway, I'm not even going to, this is so stupid, but anyway, they misunderstood the speaker in the Ronald McDonald cutout when it asked, fried with that? Oh, that's a long way to go. Anyway, there's a report that says a chemical found in wine and chocolate. We talked about this last week. The chemical found in wine and chocolate may not promote longevity, at least not for people who find that they can do just fine without their liver and pancreas, if you know what I'm saying. Man, there's all kind of stuff going on. The NFL was in the news. There's a group of former NFL players. They're suing the league. They're claiming the team doctors illegally drugged injured players with pain meds to keep them on the field. These days, Cleveland Brown players are given drugs because they're on the Browns and because they're in Cleveland. I just want to throw that in there because Paulie thinks so highly of the Browns. And when he gets a case of the Browns, it has nothing to do with anything other than 3-ply toilet paper. Disney World. Listen to this. How much do you think the admission is now? Basic admission to Disney World's Magic Kingdom. Just a basic admission.
It's got to be around $50 or so.
Oh,
for
no.
an adult.
It was $85 a couple years ago. I'd say like $90 to $100.
That's right. It's $99 now. $99. The increase is going to fund a new dwarf character on Main Street, USA, and they're going to call him Greedy. Julio Franco, ex-Major League Baseball player. This guy is attempting a comeback at 55 years old. Julio Franco. 55 years, yeah. He no longer throws out runners. He just throws out his back. And like we were talking about Kim and Kanye, they're going to wed this weekend. It's going to be a sweet ceremony in Florence. They're going to acknowledge the 3 tenets of their marriage, which is faith, hope, and publicity. Oh, my God. This is like screwing up a lot of people. You talk about nostalgia or retro or iconic. McDonald's is releasing pictures of its new mascot named Happy as a replacement for its stale characters. And if anybody knows anything about the stale product, it's McDonald's. Hey, Bubba, there's a guy in Missouri who wants his execution filmed. Did you hear about that?
No.
He wants it filmed, and one thing's for sure, if he wins an Oscar, it'll be the world's shortest acceptance speech, I'll tell you what. This is a trip. Did you guys know that Alki David owns the rights to holograms?
Yeah, I heard about that after the Coachella thing with Tupac.
Yeah, he's all over the news. He's trying to... He's starting a thing now with this Michael Jackson thing after they did the hologram performed at the Sunday Night Billboard Music Awards. If you don't know, a hologram is an image that has no substance, kind of like watching Miley Cyrus. In Brazil, they have Olympic organizers that are announcing that the pollution in Guanabara Bay, the planned venue for the nautical events, will not be cleaned up in time for the 2016 games. Now, the good news is the water is so flammable, they can use it to fuel the torch. So that's a beautiful thing. Fitness experts. They were shocked by a recent survey in which 80 million Americans claim that they walk to keep fit at least once a week. Now, their shock was not misplaced. It turns out 83% of them admitted that they were walking toward a Baskin-Robbins, a Ben & Jerry's, a Foster Freeze, and a Dairy Queen. And lastly, blown it with a big kiss, everybody. Fitness experts, football players, Missouri's gay linebacker, Michael Sam. He got selected by the St. Louis Rams in the NFL draft. The media went wild. Hopefully, Michael Sam's tremendous courage will inspire other NFL players to come out of the closet and admit, too, that they are St. Louis Rams. And in closing, the Washington Monument finally getting reopened over there in D.C. after being shut down for 3 years for repairs. It honors a great man. The reason Americans love George Washington so much is because he's the only president who didn't blame his problems on the previous administration. That's the way we see the news in and around the world here on the Foxxcast.
I am immortal.
And when we come back, the big three, the Three Stooges. Yes, certainly. Myself, Paulie Wood, and Bubba Ganoush. We're going to talk about some thick things in the news, some serious stuff. We're not going to make fun of everything. Right here on Earthcast Radio with our new sponsor, LilURLs.com, LILURLS, LilURLs.com. They're here, and you want to check them out because you can make a few bucks along the way. Keep where you got with the Foxxcast. We'll be back.
We'll be back with more of the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast here on Earthcast Radio. No Whimps. You know if you belong. Stay tuned. Looking for a way to create some potential income while doing the very same things you do every day on the internet? Well, the answer is here. LilURLs.com.
That's LILURLs.com. A link shortening service that pays you to shorten your links on the internet. When text space is limited and you have to shorten your URLs, simply go to littleurls.com. That's LILURLs.com. Get the short link and share that link all over the internet and receive commissions for traffic that you generate. And refer users to the Little URL site and get a 20% commission. You've tried the rest, now try the best and get paid to shorten your links with Little URLs. The only place you won't come up short is in your pocket. littleurls.com. That's LILURLs.com.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Raunch Foxxx. Hey, it ain't gonna suck itself. What are you waiting on?
At the pump, there is a price, and the number is obscene. And every day it goes up more until the number starts with 3. So I put the nozzle in, and I try not to scream, 'cause my car, it really sucks, this expensive gasoline. We all pay for expensive gasoline, outrageous gasoline, pricey gasoline. Every day is more costly gasoline, excessive gasoline, extortionate gasoline. We all pay for expensive.
Go ahead, slow your mouth. Ease your drive hard. Do you have enough RAM? Bend over and let the Raunch upgrade your memory. The Raunch Foxxx cyber sickness oozing out of computers everywhere.
Some airlines discriminate against overweight passengers.
I'm sorry, sir, but we're going to have to charge you for 2 seats.
What?
But there's one airline that doesn't think that's the right thing to do. We're Fat People's Express, the airline for the morbidly obese.
Now boarding Fat People's Express Flight 450. Please watch your step as you move on to the titanium reinforced jetway.
At Fat People's Express, we cater to people who, quite frankly, can never get enough catering.
This is your captain speaking. Please return your gigantic tray tables to the upright and locked position in preparation for the seemingly impossible task of takeoff.
All Fat People's Express planes are wide bodies that are specially designed for your wide body.
And remember, in the likely event you can't wait for the meal service, your seat cushion can be used as a humongous biscuit.
Fat People's Express. It's the best thing to happen to fat folks since supersizing.
You're listening to the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio. Out of this world programming. Stay tuned for more.
This is Honey Baby. My pussy may still be bald, but Bubba Ganoush makes a real woman out of me. Work it, baby. This is Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, keeping women wet since the first squirt.
Oh, sure. Then we could sit around and braid each other's hair until we get our periods at the same time.
If you can't get enough of top-lifting, breast-exposing action, then we've got the DVD for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Grills Gone Wild. It's the hottest video of the biggest breasts and most luscious thighs.
Oh, baby, my mouth is watering. I want to baste them.
Order now and you'll also get Grills Gone Wild Mardi Gras.
Show me some beads and I'll show you these. Woo! Cajun style, I guarantee.
And Grills Gone Wild Spring Break Cookout.
Show us your beat tips. Show us your beat tips.
And for the ladies, it's Grills Gone Wild Frank's Wieners and Sausages.
I just love a big, thick, juicy kielbasa. Oh.
Food has never been hotter, so order Grills Gone Wild today. You may just kiss the cook. Some radio stations are special. All you need to hear is the station name, and you know it's different from the rest. The music, the contests, the talent. And now, we return to the Raunch Foxxx Cyber Sickness. It's no holds barred. We've been fucking the FCC since the FCC started fucking.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Raunch Foxxx with you to Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast right here on Earthcast Radio with Bubba Ganoush, with Bollywood, the smokescreen machine. And you guys, a lot of stuff in the news, a lot of stick stuff, but let's, keep it current. Even though this is a podcast and it's on demand, today is some pretty big news out there, pretty sick stuff. And, of course, we're talking about this big child porn ring, this big bust in New York, which included a cop, a rabbi, a scoutmaster, an au pair, TSA agents. It's kind of sick. I mean, there are people, and there's people that children are supposed to trust. And, we're talking about a New York Police Department officer. We're talking about a fire department, New York paramedic, a rabbi, a scoutmaster. 70 people were arrested in this major child porn bust. One of those arrested was a supervisor with the Transportation Security Administration, allegedly traveled to the Dominican Republic to have sex with children. He allegedly made more than 50 trips there. The investigation involving agents from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, as well as New York authorities, began as part of the undercover operation into the peer-to-peer networks. They confiscated tons and tons of megabytes of stuff, lots of computers. The suspects, who do not appear to know one another, were able to search files using graphic terms and descriptions. The software continually scanned files, automatically uploaded images to personal computers, laptops, mobile phones. There's a guy named James Hayes. He was a special agent in charge. He's also the head of Homeland Security Investigations up in New York. Your state, Paulie.
My state.
Called the
That's
arrest.
where this all took place. Isn't there most of the arrests out of New York City?
Right. He called the arrest the largest enforcement operation in New York, targeting predators who possess, produce, or distribute sexually explicit images of children. He says it's reached epidemic proportions. And then they're also saying that the backgrounds of a lot of these people, it's actually shocking. He said defendants are coming from all walks of life. The operation puts the lie to the classic stereotypical profile that child predators are nothing more than unemployed drifters. Many of the defendants are, in fact, well-educated, successful in private and professional lives. They work hard as registered nurses, paramedics, caretakers for mentally ill adults, computer programmers, architects. Anyway, 71 arrests, including women. 600 security devices, and also included desktops, laptops, computers, tablets, smartphones, all of the thumb drives, tens of thousands of sexually explicit images and videos of kids. And
that's two things about your report that kind of surprised me. I mean, the first of which, what really stood out was that guy who made 50 trips to have, sex with a child. 50 trips is an awful lot of times to travel out of the country. But the other thing is that there were actually women arrested and women involved in the arrest. You very rarely see that.
Well, a lot of these parents also knew that what their kids were posing for. I'll get to that in a minute. But there's a guy in New York, the NYPD, Sergeant Alberto Randazzo. He's on paid suspension. He was arrested February 2013 by the Internal Affairs Bureau on 57 felony counts of child pornography. He was allegedly communicating with women in video chat rooms and ordering the women to sexually abuse their children. In one video allegedly recorded by Randazzo, he can be heard directing a woman to molest her infant child. There was also, when they gave the report, when they announced it publicly, the guy said there were titles like, PTHC, which stands for preteen hardcore. There was another title, 3-year-old, takes it every way. Dude, it makes me want to barf here. Look, you get mad if you hear it. You got to know what's out there, folks. This is the shit that's out there right now. Here, this is Samuel Waldman. He's a rabbi. He's an instructor of Judaic studies. He was arrested in his Brooklyn residence, charged under federal law with the possession of child pornography. He used a file-sharing system, and it's also one that's offered at the dissemination of videos of child pornography. There was a registered nurse at Westchester County Medical Center, Kenneth Gardner, arrested at his residence in Queens. He was charged with promoting a sex performance of a child under age 17, possessing an obscene sexual performance by a child, and possessing a sexual performance by a child video, according to the prosecutors. The au pair that you were talking about, Paulie, his name's Eduardo Salcido Urzola. He was arrested in his Brooklyn home, charged with possession of child pornography. They said that they identified an IP address at the residence associated with him that made known images and movies of child pornography available for distribution. Then you got a paramedic in the New York Fire Department, a New York police officer, a Boy Scout den master. Let's get his name out there. Jonathan Silber. He's a New York Boy Scout den master and a little league coach. He got arrested in upstate New York. We're getting close, Paulie. Charged under state law with possession of child pornography. Silber allegedly made known images and movies of child porno available for distribution via his computer. So the lawyers for the defendants obviously were not immediately available for comment, needless to say. So this, guys, what do you think? I mean, okay, this made the news, but here's what gets me. This is just a small portion, just the tip of the iceberg. Think about all the people, sadly and sickly, that haven't been caught yet.
You have people who are in positions of authority, positions of respect, positions where you're supposed to be able to look up to and trust these individuals. A scoutmaster is somebody who has direct contact with children, and he's also a little league ball coach. I mean, you got to figure that at some point, they're going to discover that some of his victims he came across in those activities.
Absolutely.
But,
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say what really bothers me is that, we're going to hear a lot about these guys. This is obviously a very big headline story, and these people will be punished pretty severely. But it's the ones that you don't hear about that get light sentences that are out, of prison so quickly and back on the streets and, living under house arrest and stuff. I mean, do we really have stiff enough consequences that are publicly known for these people that would act as a deterrent? Or is there even anything you can do to deter these people?
Yes. America's system of deterrence is garbage. It's useless. Our system of deterrence, especially for sexual offenders, is a joke. It's laughable. It's goddamn ridiculous. Those motherfuckers go in there and do less than 10 years, come out and sign some damn registry, go around and tell their neighbors they're a fucking pedophile, and everything's all good.
Yeah, they think it's good. That's like, not to change the subject, the guy that was, drugging his wife, date raping her, so to speak, getting her all wired up and raping his own wife every night. I mean, what'd he get? He got a slap on the hand by a judge. That's another story altogether, but it's another form of perversion and sickness and the way that we're looking at things. And, sadly, a lot of these sick fucks, they do go to other countries to enjoy themselves.
So how these people get caught? Computer? Is that what got them?
Yeah, they had a big distribution network, pretty much.
So this is where I'm going to say that all the people that complain that the computers are watched and people are reading your shit, this is what that does. So a few of us have to have our shit looked at every once in a while so that they can do what they did right there. And 71 pedophiles fucking busted because they do read the shit that's on the internet.
That's right. And now, we did a story a while ago. I don't know if you were with the show then, Bubba, but they have a digital 11-year-old girl from the Philippines on the internet, and on webcam it looks like a real person, and it's all digital. And they just suck people in left and right. So it's high-tech stuff. It's sad what's going on. But again, this is, this is setting the precedent, and this is big stories. And, all of a sudden now, what happened to our chemtrails and what happened to missing planes and what happened to everything else? We got all these other big stories being blown up right now because, as far as I'm concerned, we're not finished with those other stories yet. But sadly, this is something that has to be talked about. And people, if they're scanning your computers, as long as you're a good guy and a good girl, who cares? I invite you. Come on in. Maybe I got some adult porn on my computer. So what?
Yep. Yeah, you're going to see some freaky shit on mine, but it's going to be all grown-ups, I promise. It's going to be weird. It might involve some shit that makes you go, whoa, what the hell? But they're all grown-ups.
There you go.
So look at mine all you want. If looking at my computer, reading my Facebook, reading my emails leads to you busting 70-something pedophiles at once, do it all you need to do it.
Exactly. Well, what else is going on in the news? I mean, that's a pretty depressing thing, but it need to be talked about. Hey, there was like 110 people arrested outside McDonald's headquarters. basically, you know, this is suburban Chicago, by the way. You know, they're all screaming $15 an hour, $15 an hour. They marched up the driveway of McDonald's sprawling campus in suburban Chicago. They were met by about 250 cops, including state police and riot gear. They were asked to leave. When they refused, the strikers were taken into custody, according to the Oak Brook Police Department up in Illinois. The protest took place a day before McDonald's MCD Fortune 500 company. They have an annual meeting on Thursday where more protests are planned. The latest chapter in the broader fast food movement that began over a year ago with workers demanding their wages be raised to a minimum of $15 an hour. Said we want to make sure that McDonald's shareholders and CEO Don Thompson hear us and see us and know that we are the workers they're pushing into poverty. One guy did say that my boss doesn't rule my destiny. So I'm going to tell you how I feel about it, and then you guys can tell me how you feel. If you don't like what you're making, find another fucking job.
Exactly.
All right? Just go find another fucking job, because you know what? You know what? There are plenty of people that are more thankful and would be more than happy to make the money that you're making so you can go out and do something else. Now, granted, Seattle didn't help things by raising their minimum wage to $15 an hour. Many other states have $10 an hour. But, you know, I mean, I think about all the times where I go to the drive-thru and they can't even get a simple order right. You know, of course, everybody can talk about that. But then again, I've gone to places where the service has been exceptional. It's like, you know, I'm going to come back here because they were nice. But the point is, they're screaming for 15, trying to put somebody on a guilt trip, like they put a guilt trip on Walmart. You know what? You know what? Plenty of people need jobs. And you know what? If you're a kid and you're living at home and you don't have a house and a family and you want to work there, God bless you, go do it. But don't tell me that I'm a piece of shit because I'm not paying you $15 an hour.
Well, you try to give people who work at McDonald's $15 an hour. Just wait till you see what that does to the price of a hamburger that's barely worth, you know, 2 nickels as it is. Now, I had a job once that paid $15 an hour. I worked for a nationally recognized pest control company, and that's some pretty serious, qualified work. And it would insult me to think that somebody who's flipping burgers when a timer tells them to, and taking fries out of a fry vat is worth the same amount of money as something that I did that I consider a profession. It's nonsense to me. But you wait, if they get their way, see what that does to the price of that fast food. It will kill the company.
Well, do me a quick favor. Google this real quick, Paulie, if you can. I don't know if you can or not. Aren't they paying $15 an hour now, like In-N-Out Burger? That's a big chain out in this part of the country. But just Google that real quick. Just put hourly rate In-N-Out Burger, what they make.
I made $15 an hour to work at McDonald's.
You did? Were you a manager?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
You know why? Because I didn't like making minimum wage.
Okay. Well, so you got an opportunity to advance and make that money.
Yeah, some company, like certain fast food restaurants like White Castle, they only promote from within. So one day it's possible you could be the damn CEO because they only promote from within. If you don't like minimum wage, try harder.
Exactly. And you got an opportunity.
Here's the results of the search for you. In-N-Out Burger, a fast food chain in California in the Southwest, starts its employees off at a $10.50 an hour rate. And there's also a place called Moo Cluck that raises it up to about 12, and then they ratchet it up to 15 after 60 days.
Only 2 months. 2 months. $15.
Yep. I started people out at almost $9 an hour at most of the places that I was manager at. I had the authority to start people out at like $8.85, $8.90, somewhere like that.
Right. Go back, Paulie, where you pick up where you left off, Paulie.
Well, that's the bulk of everything I read. But Moo Cluck is Moo Cluck Moo is a small fast food chain that's based in Canton, Michigan. Now they start their employees at $12 an hour, and then after the 2-month period, they get up to about $15 an hour. So, you know, but I would imagine that the price of the food at a place like Moo Cluck Moo is probably a little bit higher than, you know, your average McDonald's. I mean, you don't associate McDonald's with being high quality too. So, I mean, you know, to me, I guess it kind of makes sense. And it's a smaller chain too. So they kind of have that liberty. But when you're talking about a McDonald's, which is someplace, you know, that's recognized around the world, that has, you know, locations in pretty much every country in the world, you just can't do that type of thing. You can't afford it. It won't work.
Well, for full-time employees at fast food restaurants, the average hourly wage is $9.09, or about $19,000 a year. That's for the full-time worker. A recent report from the public advocacy group Demos found that CEOs at fast food companies earn 1,000 times what the average fast food employee earns, making it one of the biggest pay disparities in American economy.
also the largest difference in between trained and not. The guys that are running it and making that kind of money went to college. They worked hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, and the other people, the guy that's flipping the burgers, he fucked around, dropped out of school, been to jail a couple of times, was lazy as hell. Now all of a sudden he wants to have what the other guy has.
Well,
yeah, he's probably getting high before his shifts and, you know, coming in unbathed and not really giving a damn about his work.
But there are, you know, out here in Arizona, I see a lot of minorities working to support families and stuff like that, which is fine. But again, and jobs are scarce, folks, you know, but, you know, there's somebody ready to step in and take what you're making if you're not happy where you are. So don't expect anything to happen anytime soon. At least that's my opinion.
Our Taco Bells here have computer ordering. You can go up and do everything that the person at the counter would do on a screen.
Yeah, I'm sitting at where did I order? Yeah, there's a couple McDonald's that have that. That's a future now. And of course, also, I was sitting in a Chili's the other day. It's going to get to this, but you know, at Chili's now, you don't even have to ask for your bill. You know, you can just sit there and check out, swipe your card on this little machine that plays trivia and everything right on your table there, and includes a tip and this and that. And I'm thinking, well, gee, I'm going to tip 18, 20, 22%, 25%. And they're not even going to come back up and say, hey, thanks, nice meeting you, have a nice day, hope you enjoyed my service. I'm just going to go ahead and give them a big old tip and swipe my card and not even say goodbye to that person. You know what I say? Fuck you.
I agree. What's the point in giving somebody a good tip if you don't get to see them get it?
I don't mind the little ass kissing. I want to be said hello to when I walk in, and I want to be said goodbye to when I walk out. Some places say good riddance, but that's just the way it is. It's all, you want a tip, you get your service. You get paid what you're worth. You know, I'm more than fair. I'm generous as hell.
Yeah, I'm not going to tip a machine.
Yeah, exactly. What'd you say, Paulie? You started to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, these waiters and waitresses, a lot of them work for absolutely below minimum wage on their hourly rates, and so they kind of depend on tips. But when you put it into a situation like where they're not even taking the orders anymore, and you're ordering and you know, taking care of everything on a touch screen, you know, how much work are they doing in the first place? So I guess it kind of falls on the company to compensate, you know, whoever it is that's running the food out from the kitchen to you. But, this is the way for the future. I guess we all better, you know, fasten up and get ready for it.
Here's what I see. You're going to come into a McDonald's. You're going to make your order through voice recognition. It's going to come up on the screen. You're going to be have the ability to go ahead and confirm it, kind of like these drive-through car washes at these fast food Circle K's and 7-Elevens and things like that. Anyway, you go in, you order by, it comes up, it does its thing, you confirm it. You either put a slot in for cash and coin or your debit or credit card. Then you pull up to the window and either someone hands it to you or there's people inside setting up the orders and it mechanically is delivered to your car out the window and you leave. So, you know, it's just a matter of time, folks, till it's a robotic world and a lot of people are out of jobs. It's kind of like, you know, years and years ago when everybody was making money as big printers and design and sign machines. Now you can go online and computers and print and do whatever you want. You know, I'm thinking about all these poor guys that had these big printing companies through the years and, you know, what you can get on the internet nowadays. So, it's going to be iRobot fast food.
The automated assembly line that put all the people out of work back in whenever it was when they implemented that, and all these people that used to do these little menial jobs, when they created that automated assembly line, you know, it put them out of work.
That's right. I worked with General Motors 9 years. I knew people in those assembly plants that had jobs that, well, we don't need you anymore to lock that bumper into place because the machine's going to do it. You know,
it's cheaper.
So absolutely.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yep.
Well, you guys saw that movie Idiocracy, where the fast food restaurants in the future were basically just ATM booths standing in the middle of the street, like the Carl's Jr.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a good point. Idiocracy. Look it up, folks. That's a great point. All right, so with moving on, we got a couple more stories, then we're going to take a break, come back for a little bit of taste of a Bubba Ganoush and his new segment, Bubba's Social Spitecast. But Macklemore, rapper, call him a rapper if you want. He's a clown, man. But he's apologized. You know, he was at the Grammys, and they what was the name of that song? Oh, gosh. Oh, Thrift Shop. Thrift Shop was the name of the song. Anyway, he's apologizing. He comes out dressed in a wig, a big nose, and a beard, and he kind of looks like a pretty strict Jewish fella. And everybody's crying anti-Semitism. He's apologizing. He says it was just a random disguise. So he's doing a song called Thrift Shop, and you talk about stereotypical attitudes and all that crap, and he's got a big nose and a big beard and the hat and all that crap, and he looks like a rabbi. he won a Grammy, obviously, but he's so praised for its cultural sensitivity. He insists that he wasn't stereotyping Jews with the costume that he wore to the Seattle event Friday. The big hat, the fake nose, the black beard. He said it was a random costume that he threw together so that he could walk around unnoticed and surprise the crowd with a short performance.
All right.
He says,
I don't know if I buy that.
He says, I apologize to anybody that I may have offended. Too late, clown. Now, the Anti-Defamation League, they said, well, they would like to be able to take him at his word for it so that he didn't have any ill intent. But Seth Rogen, pothead comedian, he stepped up and said, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
He basically said, he says, first you trick people into thinking you're not who you say you are, then you try to back your way out of it and say, oh, it was just a random costume. And Seth's Jewish. Like, you're full of shit, dude. You're full of shit. So Macklemore, he got called out by Seth Rogen pretty good on Twitter. And he said, no, it absolutely was anti-Semitic. And I have to say it was, too. There's no way. And the Defamation League isn't even going to jump on it. They're letting our little white rapper off the hook. They should be all over this. Anyway.
He was probably trying to be funny, and it backfired on him.
Yeah, it sure did. Lastly, back up in New York, Paulie. We're coming back to New York a minute. Listen to this. 2 New York City 4th graders, they got arrested. They allegedly poisoned their teacher's water bottle.
Will teacher die or?
Well, she got pretty sick. The 2 boys are ages 9 and 12. They allegedly poisoned the teacher's water a couple days ago, causing her to feel pretty nauseated the next day. She was treated by a doctor. She's now in good condition. They found poison in her system. They traded it back to the water. The poison being tested in the lab to determine what exactly it was. It appears to be rat poison.
Gosh.
Now, according
what are
to
a 12 and a 9-year-old doing in the same class anyway?
Well, that's another story in itself.
No
isn't it?
child left behind.
That's right. And there was a New York police officer involved. Ironically, I hope he wasn't in the porn ring. But both boys have been charged with attempted second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of a weapon. So there you go. They're on their way too. But, we're going to talk about how everything is developing earlier and things are happening years ahead of the time when we get the Paulywood segment in just a little bit as well. But that's pretty much the way we see the news currently here on the Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio. When we come back, it's Bubba Ganoush. Don't go anywhere. It's a Foxxcast right here. EarthCastRadio.com, brought to you by our new sponsor, LilURLs.com. Don't go away.
We'll be back with more verbal abuse from the world's largest net shock jock, 6'10" Raunch Foxxx. He's nuts over you. Well, actually, most people.
The schools are taking soda out, 'cause kids are too obese. Now lunch ladies will just serve milk to wash down the mystery meat. They'd like to teach the kids to drink some stuff that isn't bad. And maybe they'll learn to ignore these stupid soft drink ads. But after school, when they get home, they'll open up a can.
Yes, they can, and keep on drinking soda pop until they split their pants. It's a real fat thing. Oh, yeah. It's a real fat thing.
Raunch Foxxx, the only man who wipes his ass with a towel head. Body still attached. Don't fuck with the U.S., Habib.
Oh, baby. When I'm not busy, I listen to Bubba Ganoush on Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast. Give me some of that sweet hospitality, baby.
Get ready to achieve multiple eargasms with the biggest stroke job in cyberspace. If the microphone was a clit, none of you bitches would complain about a long, drawn-out speech. Raunch Foxxx and the cyber sickness, getting people off on their own computers.
The sun is hot, skin is blistering. It's the warmest time in history. If you go outside, you'll surely die, frying in a global warming land. It's as hot as a volcano. I just grew a big baked potato. Let's cook an egg right on my leg, frying in a global warming land. In the winter, you can build a slush man
and pretend that he is Al Gore.
No one listened to him cause he's nuts, man. And now the earth is melting to the core. Temperature is going higher, and my hair caught on fire. If the planet is doomed, we'll move to the moon, frying in a global warming land.
And now, let's get back to more Raunch here on Earthcast Radio.
Do not panic. I repeat, do not panic.
Okay, Fox fans, you want the juicy gossip or maybe just the sad, disgusting truth? Then put your mask and rubber gloves on because the smell is going to knock you out. It's time to stir up the social broadcasting toilet bowl with Bubba Ganoush and Bubba's Social Spikecast right here on the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio.
The views expressed are those exclusively of Bubba Ganoush and not Earthcast Radio, Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, Hollywood, or Raunch Foxxx, or anybody else for that matter. It's all Bubba Ganoush. Oh, yeah, Bubba's here, everybody. We got the new one, the Social Spikecast, and he's about ready to cut loose and let us know about his real world and the sickness that's in it. So, Bubba, it's all you, brother.
All right. Well, for those of you who are unaware, the social media, social casting is starting to kind of become a thing. There's a lot of sites you can go to. There's Vaughn TV, there's Battlecam, there's Justin TV, Ustream, YouNow. There's a lot of them, and some of them have come and gone. People go in, they get on cam, they think they're stars, people come in and talk to them, blah, blah, blah. I have watched some people go from being normal, regular people to being things that you can't even recognize anymore due to social casting. They get this little taste of what they consider fame because 60 or 80 people come in and watch them every night, and you watch this transformation take place right in front of your eyes. Most of them become drunks because it appears to be the easiest way to hold an audience is to stay drunk as shit and just, everybody come watch the train wreck. I spend a lot of my time on these sites, and I have for about the past 4 years. It's kind of my thing, my hobby, an obsession, call it whatever the hell you want. I spend an inordinate amount of time doing this shit. So I see all kinds of stuff. I watch, like I said, regular, normal, people go to turn into these monsters, these social casting monsters, just shadows of what they used to be. In future episodes, I will specifically call out individual casters. There's no need to doing that now until everyone's on the same page as far as knowing what social casting is. If you haven't checked it out, you should. If you think reality TV is interesting, then you will fucking love social casting. It's like reality TV without the editing. Yes, there are large portions of boring in between, but when it's not boring, it's amazing. It's even if you don't like it, even if it's disgusting to you, it's still fucking amazing that what people are willing to do to be noticed, to be watched. If you think the kid eating the worms in the schoolyard was shocking, you have no fucking idea. I have seen people shove random objects into orifices that don't need orifices filled with objects. I've watched people drink things that shouldn't be drunk. I've watched people set themselves on fire, be arrested, shoot themselves, almost die.
Staple their ball sack to their leg.
Yeah. In one instance, a guy actually fucking date raped a girl right on fucking camera. Guy named John Hawk shut down $1 million social casting site because he date raped the girl. Bitch was passed out drunk while he was casting, did it right in front of everybody. But, with no regard to what he was doing, it didn't matter. Everybody was watching, he's getting attention, so everything falls away. People live in a bubble when they get on these shows. They forget that laws exist. They forget about admitting to shit that they probably shouldn't admit to. This guy admitted the other day that he beat some guy up when he was a kid, and while the guy was beat up, he picked him back up and stuck his dick in his mouth. And yeah, we couldn't get him to understand that was rape. And he was, it's not rape, it's just completely owning someone. It's like, dude, you're in front of hundreds of people right now admitting to mouth raping someone.
Oh my God.
Hey, no,
yeah, guys, you've been doing a whole 4 years. Sadly, I've been doing it about a decade, and you're right. There's different kinds of social media platforms. You got the more professional ones out there too, like the Ustreams and Spreaker and things like that. But we're just talking about your basic social broadcasting platforms. If you got a video camera and you got a microphone You're good to go, and you don't even have to
add
be
into that a fifth of gin or a 12-pack of beer and absolutely no sense of self-respect whatsoever, and pretty soon you'll be shitting your pants in front of 80 people for the views.
Don't be a paid hooker. Just get yourself a PayPal account and be able to invite guys in and let them use their credit card to watch you get naked on camera. You know, these little girls with these PayPal camera accounts now are just killing those sex camera industries.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining because I'm okay now. But back then, anyway.
Well, it's a little bit of a primer. I've watched Bubba, doing his social casting for, probably about 2 or 3 months now. And, for those of you who don't know where to find him, he's on VonLive.tv under the name Bubba Ganoush. And he casts in a place that he calls the Scrag. And he doesn't really have to turn on his camera to keep you amused. This is a guy whose wit and his observancy and his honesty keep him fresh every time he is live. And he'll let you have it. He'll cut you to pieces in a matter of moments if you step out of line or if you come in a little too big for your britches.
As long as there are drunks with no self-respect and no dignity at all, then I'll always have something to talk about.
No, I think also it reminds me of high school. I mean, it doesn't matter how old people are. All the young ones like to crack on anybody over 40. You an old fart. You're a pedo. You're a perv. You're this. You're that. You're a wannabe. You're what? But then again, and then you got the young ones. But what these people are forgetting, all these idiots are thinking, you got these 70-year-old perverts sitting there making you think that they're 18 to 22, buddy or honey. So,
it's a world, man. It's definitely its own little fucked up world.
It's a sick one. Yes, it is. So,
go ahead. Takes a thick skin. It takes a thick skin to exist in a social casting world. Even if all you want to do is go in and watch and try to engage in some kind of conversation, there's a good chance somebody's going to come in and say something bad to you. That's just how it works.
Through the years, there are people that have committed suicide on cam. There are people that have been driven to suicide. There's people that have pulled the trigger. There are people that have swallowed pills and washed it down with a fifth of vodka. And fortunately, people knew these people enough to get emergency. We had a guy back in late 90s, early 2000s. He just was heartbroken. He swallowed a bunch of pills and washed it down with a fifth of vodka. And fortunately, I had emails from him and friends in that area, and we pinpointed where he was. And I got a hold of the fire department in Virginia. And they went to his house and we saved him. But this was a long time ago. But we've seen it. If you don't have a thick skin, get out of it. It's just not. It's a vicious world out there. But you must have a thick skin if you go in there, and that doesn't count all the people that like to play on your computer if you're not protected.
Shit, when Raunch says vicious people, those of you who are unaware of social casting, vicious is underplaying it. I mean, it is rough, man. You go in there and you decide to sign in and start talking to people, you're going to find out. 69, I
can tell you 2 instances, ladies over 60 years old. One got so involved in the rigmarole that was going on in these social media sites that her blood pressure raised to the point where veins exploded in her eyes, vessels, and she had to go to the doctor because her blood pressure was out of control. And you guys know her. We're not going to drop any names. There was another lady, 69 years old. Husband passed away. She's trying to find friends, but here she is on social media casting, trying to find friends, and they're all calling her all kind of names and this and that, and the anti-Semites because she's Jewish and this and that, and she gets up there and tells stories of how she had to hide from the Third Reich and everybody else just to survive. She has wonderful historical stories and lots to offer, but people ride her, and her blood pressure gets so bad she starts shaking on cam and just has to shut down. And I tell her, I say, you got to handle this. You got to handle it. But they, it's sad they won't learn. And it is taking a toll on their bodies. And that doesn't count the people that you're talking about that they want to drink or get high or do this or do that. And they just sit there day after day, night after night, doing what they do. Now, go ahead.
Social casting becomes an obsession. And some of these people, their whole damn lives start to revolve around these damn social casting sites.
Well, that's exactly right. Just like people, when I was growing up, we were out there playing ball. When it was dark, when the sun went down, the street lights come on, we knew it was time to come home. There's people that have their windows blocked with big black curtains. You don't even know what time it is. And they sit on these computers 10, 12 hours a day. They do marathons. They do weekends. And it has become their social replacement. When I think of these social platforms, I think of the social platforms as bars. You can go anywhere you want. You can meet any kind of people. But you'll find that there's a certain niche of people that move from platform to platform. And granted, it's a fact, every 5 years or so, a lot of these people will go away. 60, 70% of them. There's a handful that'll stay, but by then all these new people have come in to play as well.
Like barflies.
Exactly. And it's exactly right. So they don't have to go out. They can sit there and get buzzed in their own house, do their own damage. And just like in the days of the Lions and the Christians, let me tell you, the people in the crowd didn't want to see the Christians win.
No, they're not in there to. That's what certain ones don't know. Like this new one that's on there, we'll talk about him next week. But he thinks they love him, and they push him. Yeah, we love you. Drink some more. Yeah, we love you. Drink some more.
Yeah, and I get more angry at the people egging him on, or her, whoever it might be, than the actual person themselves. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're only in denial when they say, this isn't important to me. This is just fun. This is this is that. When in fact, it's an obsession. It's like a drug. It's a fix, and they need it.
You get sucked into the drama pretty quickly, even just as a casual observer. And one of the things that I kind of always held true when I was wandering around in these rooms was that it was almost more like, I mean, not so much to shit on the bar analogy, but it was almost more like having your window in at a mental institution and just kind of getting to guess exactly all the different dysfunctions that the person in front of the camera has. I mean, a lot of these people are deluded and detached from reality or have severe personality disorders that kind of prevent them from going out and socializing in a normal way. And you do get to see some incredibly screwed up things on these things, but you even as a casual observer, you almost can't help but get sucked into the drama and kind of watch it, you know.
Yeah, but there are some positives. It isn't all horrible. I mean, there are some positives. There are some casters who are normal people and they just like to hang out, and there are some people that go in and watch that are normal people and just want to hang out.
Thank you, Bubba.
I mean, it's not all negative. There is a really dark side to it, but you can avoid that with a little bit of effort.
Yeah, and if you do have a thick skin and you're involved in it, you know how to handle it and control it as well. So, and there are some very good casters out there. It just doesn't anywhere. You got the good with the bad, you know. But at the end of the day, you have to decide if it's for you. I'm telling you right now, if you're any kind of naive or you don't have a thick skin or you're not a person that's worldly, you're in for a shock and a half when you get in there and when you go into these chat rooms and you see the way people are talking or the way they handle people, or if you're new or you put up a picture, they're vicious. They want to pick out any possible thing that's wrong with you. A lot of these people have low self-esteem, terrible lives. They're not happy with themselves, and all they do is sit there and try to bring other people down to make themselves feel better, when in fact they are the most depressed, sociopathic types that you'd ever want to meet. Does it take one to know one? Maybe, or not. But either way, that you get quite a potpourri of personalities once you get out there on that social media broadcasting platform.
You got to go in with that whole sticks and stones attitude, and you better really believe that sticks and stones attitude. If not, you know, yeah. But if you go in there with that, but, you know, it's just words and I don't care, then you can have a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's like reality TV that you can interact with.
It is reality TV, and some of the stuff and some of the scenarios that we're going to talk to you about as we move forward, it's going to be just like watching reality TV. In fact, I think we should sit down and write a screenplay and just call it the social broadcast, and let's present it to reality TV. And there's plenty of stories that we watch on a daily basis that we know that the public would sit and watch on their cable channel every week.
Yeah, sure. Romances form, friendships form and fall apart. You know, I mean, it's definitely a unique and budding world that's really only just kind of starting to evolve and draw more and more people in.
You ever want to see a grown man shove an inanimate object up his ass just for the hell of it? That's the place to go.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Bubba, I cannot wait. So now we've wet the water, or we've wet your appetite. We've tested the waters, and the Bubba's Social Spikecast has been born. And there's a lot of people that think they're immortal when they get behind that camera. Bubba, thank you so much for that, man. I cannot wait. And we're going to be going on all different networks. We might be partial to one because we broadcast, but there are every network available, and we're going to get a story on each and every one of them. That's part of our reporting news. So we'll be back with more. Don't go anywhere. It is the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast right here on Earthcast Radio. Paulywood is coming up with another edition of the Smokescreen Machine. Keep it right here. We've got more.
or verbal abuse from the world's largest net shock jock, 6'10" Raunch Foxxx. He's nuts over you. Well, actually, most people.
It's cold. Everybody was cane fu fighting. Ha! Old people that are frightening. Because of dentures we're not biting. Ha! Let me tell you, it's quite exciting. I'm a crazy mean old man, and I don't mess around. I may look like I am weak, but I'm gonna take you down. It's an ancient Chinese art, and I'll distract you with a fart. Then I'll swing a wooden cane and bash you in the brain. Everybody was cane fu fighting. Old people that are frightening. Because the dentures we're not biting. But now I should be in bed napping.
Looking for a way to create some potential income while doing the very same things you do every day on the internet? Well, the answer is here. LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com. A link shortening service that pays you to shorten your links on the internet. When text space is limited and you have to shorten your URLs, simply go to LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com. Get the short link and share that link all over the internet and receive commissions for traffic that you generate. And refer users to the Little URL site and get a 20% commission. You've tried the rest, now try the best and get paid to shorten your links with Little URLs. The only place you won't come up short is in your pocket. LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com.
And one.
Do you have a health issue? Then visit the Walk-In Clinic, where the entire medical staff talks just like Christopher Walken.
Welcome to the Walk-In Clinic. Step right up to the receptionist window.
Hello, I'm going to need to find out if you have a copay.
At the Walk-In Clinic, protecting your health is our most important role.
Gonna need you to turn your head and cough. Again, damn it, cough. Good. Now bend over and spread them. I'm gonna check colon for a gold watch.
Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're here to give you the kind of care you'd expect from the Walk-In Clinic.
Ma'am, I have your diagnosis. I'm afraid you got a fever, and the only cure is more NyQuil.
When it comes to your health, don't wait, act fast, and visit the Walk-In Clinic.
Have you been laid off? Maybe your company's been downsized and a big, throbbing career change is the only thing that can satisfy you? Then call the Topless Institute Technical School.
The economy is going down, but things are looking up.
The stock market hasn't found its bottom, so we'll teach you how to lose your top with just one call to TITS.
I want to hear more.
Choose among great careers like stripping, exotic and lap dancing, table or pole dancing. You'll work in such fast-paced environments as strip joints, nudie bars, skin shacks, go-go bars, men's clubs, and even gentlemen's clubs.
I used to work for Fannie Mae. Now, Fannie Mae is my work name.
Come on, guys. Get your hands out of your laps and put them together for the very sexy Fannie Mae, everybody.
Classes that start now will have you degrading yourself in just 6 short weeks when you enroll at the Topless Institute Technical School, TITS. The future is in your glands.
And now, Foxxcast followers, it's time to debunk the debunkers with our style of telling it like it probably is. It's the Smokescreen Machine, Hollywood, on the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast.
So let me ask you something, guys. Just kind of an assumption here, but we all brush our teeth, right?
All I need is a miracle.
You're awful, man. You are awful.
Yeah, we brush our teeth. I wish I had as many to brush as I did when I started, but I'm doing all right.
And likewise, I do too. What about you, Bubba? I mean, I'm assuming you've got good oral hygiene, right?
Yeah, don't believe everything they say about the South. We get toothpaste and whatnot down here.
Well, what's one when you guys watch a commercial for toothpaste? What's really one of the main ingredients that all of them stress so much?
Fluoride.
Yeah.
Fluoride. You are 100% right. Now, do you know why that is?
Well, I mean, I remember back in the day when we did a TV commercial, they used to say Pepsodent with fluoride. And then they would say Shell gasoline with platformate. And if it didn't have platformate, it wouldn't work. The car wouldn't move. Or they would say Ban with aluminum chlorhydrate. And if it didn't have aluminum chlorhydrate, it'd smell like a gorilla. So I would say that it was probably the fluoride that supposedly was supposed to just keep you in the epitome of great health and cavitivyless.
It whitens.
And whitens.
Well, you're both kind of right, but here's what it is with fluoride. Okay, now fluoride is a poison. Let's get that out there first and foremost.
Sodium, sodium fluoride.
It is absolutely toxic, and it's in your toothpaste because the bad breath that you have, it comes from little organisms in your mouth that are eating at your teeth and feeding on the remnants of stuff that you've had left behind, and then excreting into your mouth. So the fluoride is in there to kill those little bastards and to kind of help keep your breath fresh. But fluoride was initially used towards the middle of World War II by the Germans in the countries that they occupied. They were dumping it into the water supplies to kind of keep the occupied nations and the people within them pacified. Because in large doses, the fluoride has an effect not just on your mouth, but on your brain as well. There's a particular gland in the brain, and Raunch, I know you know what this gland is, so I'll let you say it.
Probably, you're talking about the pineal gland?
That's right, the pineal gland. And that gland is associated with two different things, the first of which being independent thought, and the other, although maybe not quite so medically attributed, is people attribute that to where, your kind of intuitive or your psychic, abilities kind of come from. And
hey, let's say what it is. Spirituality and being awakened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's supposed to be your mind's eye, your mind's third eye, and it's supposed to be the thing that kind of keeps you out of trouble to an extent. But the Nazis were doing this. They were dumping it into their occupied nations. And then in 1944, we started doing it too. And that was against the recommendation of the American Dental Association, who came out and they said, well, you know what? We really can't see any kind of a medical benefit to, putting this in the water.
But you say that, but then they say, but more dentists recommend.
Well, you know what? They do recommend it in toothpaste because you're supposed to be spitting out that toothpaste. But when you're drinking it in bottled water, or you're drinking it out of tap water, or you're drinking it in products that contain those waters, you're ingesting it.
Well, I'm going to tell you that whether you're drinking it or brushing your teeth, it's being absorbed into your gums and into your mouth anyway.
Absolutely. It's being absorbed into your bloodstream, and it's every bit as harmful. Now, do you know where most of the fluoride that goes into our water supply comes from?
I don't know if it's made, if it comes from our government, if it comes from factories in another country. No, I don't.
It's a byproduct. I mean, the majority of it actually comes from fertilizer producing factories, where the emissions used to go right out the top of the smokestacks and into the atmosphere, and it would kind of more or less harmlessly dissipate up there. But what they started doing is they started putting filters up at the top of these smokestacks and catching the sodium fluoride and collecting it in large amounts. And then those same fertilizer companies who, sell their fertilizers would turn around and sell these bulk amounts of fluoride to government municipalities to use to fluoridate their water. Now, we in the United States have the heaviest fluoridation in our drinking water and in our tap water and bottled water than any other nation and every other nation on the planet combined. So think about that for just a second. Every industrialized, every modern society that exists on this planet, they do a little bit, maybe a little bit of the water fluoridation, but nothing like what goes on here in the United States. And so when you wonder about, what's going wrong with the people in this country, what's wrong with the population, and I mean, it's not just having an effect on the brain, although it's heavily having an effect on the brain. Do you know what other things it causes?
What else can it cause? Alzheimer's, Parkinson's?
Birth defects.
Birth defects is one. It's also attributed to the accelerated growth rate, especially in females. They start developing their breasts and start entering puberty earlier. It's
quick story. A buddy of mine, Facebook, puts a joking. He was joking in a sense, but it's real. He says, "Quote: My 8-year-old goddaughter just had her first period. I'm going to go out and buy myself an 8, 10, or 12 gauge gun." And me being the asshole I am, I commented and I said, "Well, periods are like guns. They come at 8, 10, and 12." And not only is she spotting and beginning her menstrual cycle, she's already in a training bra at 8 years old.
And there are other things that lead to, the accelerated physical maturation of people. I mean, there are a lot of hormones in our beef and our milk, but, fluoride also plays a big role into this. So what I kind of want to ask you guys is, why do you think in this country, more than any other in the nation, they're putting this kind of fluoride in the water? What do you suppose the intended effect is?
Well, I don't want to hear about a conspiracy theory, but I'm going to say that they're dummying us down. They want everybody to just conform. Look at all the lonely sheeple. I think, just go along with it. Don't challenge us. Whatever we tell you is the truth. And that's the end of that. So I think they dummy us down so that we're not awakened and not spiritual. But as people are getting older, they're starting to awaken. They're starting to get more spiritual. They're looking up in the sky. They're questioning everything. Nothing as it seems. And again, I know down there in Bubba's neck of the woods, they probably put out warnings about fluoride, don't they, Bubba?
Yeah, but the water is naturally fluoridated here because it is a naturally occurring substance in the ground. And
I'm from Baltimore. There was fluoride in the water back there.
Yeah, and at one point they actually thought that it was a good thing because drinking that fluoridated water kept your teeth white. But, we're starting to... They're not exactly positive, but they're pretty damn sure that it was causing massive amounts of birth defects.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, because I know, Raunch, we've talked about this before, and you've mentioned that the branded toothpaste that you use, I don't know if you can mention them by name.
Yeah, sure, why not? It's we use Tom's natural toothpaste now, fluoride-free. Tom's. He's got a whole thing of deodorants, or the company does. And, yeah, Tom's, T-O-M-S.
And you know why you would want to have, obviously, in addition to the toothpaste, but, Tom's deodorant, because what substance is in most deodorants that
aluminum.
Is not?
Aluminum chlorhydrate or aluminum.
And aluminum, again, is one of those substances that's been associated with Alzheimer's disease. The people who are cooking with aluminum pots and aluminum pans and stuff like that were having higher cases of Alzheimer's because it too is a bit of a toxin, a brain toxin of all things. So, yeah, I mean, kind of depressing, though, that when you think about it, that our government is doing this to us, that they're willingly buying and fluoridating our water. And, we're not really doing much about it. We're just kind of turning on the TV, watching the next talent show and saying, oh, well, I guess I don't care if they take away my rights. I guess they don't care if they tell me I have to buy health insurance, or I don't care if they want to take my guns away, as long as I can have my TV and my nice little cozy environment.
My computer. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's like you say, man. They're dummying us down. They're dumbing people down, and it's not a good thing.
I saw a video on YouTube last week where they were dumping the fluoride into water and different factories and all. And it said right on the thing, it said sodium fluoride or whatever it is, and it had the big skull and crossbones right on it. And they were dumping giant bags of it into the water.
Yeah, I mean, those skull and crossbones aren't there for decoration. That is to identify that substance as a toxin, as a poison, as something that is dangerous. I mean, I would imagine that the people who were doing the dumping had, some kind of respirator on or full body suits, something protecting them from the crap that they were pouring in.
Yeah, I think it was the white outfit and the white baker's cap and a mask.
Well, just keep drinking that bottled water, people. It's.
Well, you can look at the bottled water. There's some out there that do not have fluoride in it.
Pay attention to where your water comes from when you get that bottle. Read: is it from a well? Is it from a spring? Is it just cleaned? I mean, you got to know what you're buying.
I got to tell you something. I don't care. I can drop a name. It's the internet. Arrowhead water. I remember back in the day when they said pure spring water, and I used to love the taste of it. I think today that stuff tastes like shit. I don't even drink it anymore. And there's others out there. There's one by Nestle, and the
Aquafina?
Yeah, all of those. I mean, you have to look and see what has fluoride and what doesn't.
Right. Know what you're putting in your body.
Exactly.
Well, and know what you're putting into your body is doing to your body, too. I mean, I think there are a number of people out there who have no idea how harmful fluoride is. And hopefully we've changed that a little bit today, but, I guess we can only expect to have so much of an impact, huh?
10's the new 12, 12's the new 16, 16's the new 25. What are you going to do?
Math. Sad, man. I mean, do you want your daughter having her period at 8 years old and in a training bra? And
well, like he says, he's going out and buy a gun. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, when I saw that, and what we're talking about now, and, and like I say, and down there, they've got right there, Bubba will tell you, it'll say, hey, I don't know if it says drink at your own risk or do this at your own risk, but they let you know that fluoride's in the water, right, Bubba?
Well, yeah, they're just, until they find out for sure what's going on, they pretty much told these people to just not drink the water that's coming out of your tap, because we're pretty damn sure it's causing birth defects.
Well, here's another kind of funny coincidence about this. This all started, this process of deliberate water fluoridation, all started around the same time when we were spraying DDT and, using asbestos as a fire preventative in insulation and stuff. So when these things were discovered to be harmful, and it's really no secret that sodium fluoride is a poison, those things stopped, but fluoride remains.
Yeah, I went out of my garage and took a whole brand new sprayer bottle of Roundup and threw it away because of what I'm hearing about. And that's another one. Well, not only that's a Monsanto product, so fuck Monsanto.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you 100% on that too, my friend.
Well, anything else on that subject, Paulie? I mean, folks, you know what? I think we've covered the gamut. We had a little comedy, a little good humor, a little bad humor. We talked the real deal, what's going on in the world, the sickness, the health. We even took you into the computer world, into cyberspace. So I think now as the show's going, we start bringing in our guests. We always talk about bringing in guests, but we always have so much to talk about amongst ourselves that I think people like it. But I think as we get into the hardcore topics, we're going to bring some experts in. And it's not going to be boring stuff. It's going to be sick, off the cuff. If you want regular stuff, go listen to regular radio or even Sirius. And even if Sirius satellite radio is satellite and there's no FCC, we want to shock you even more here on our show, here on the Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio. So we're going to start putting our heads together and really start picking some great topics. We have our meetings every week, but now I'm going to say, guys, we really need to start thinking about our content and get real downright serious about it. And, maybe we'll say a few less fucks and end up on iHeartRadio, or maybe not. All I do know is as a vetted CNN iReporter, and, anybody can be an iReporter and you can take a shot. But once you get vetted, you got a good chance of getting your stuff up there. We want to start taking some of the things that we do and doing little short segments and upload them to CNN, to the CNN iReporter page. So with that, guys, anything else before we wrap this one up?
Well, how about just another quick thank you to our new sponsor?
Oh, yeah, let's do it then. And, of course, it's Lil URLs, LILURLs.com. And, of course, it's a link shortening service, kind of like Bitly, only the difference is you can make money, shorten your links, get those links out everywhere. You have to have places to shorten your links, especially on Twitter when you're only allowed so many characters. Use it. Get your links out there. Start referring people to the LilURLs.com site. Receive up to a 20% commission just for the referral, and you'll get a piece, and you'll make money on every 100 or every 1,000 links that get out there with your URL. So you got a shot at making some money with it. How about you, Bubba? any closing statements before you start pissing everybody off next week in cyberspace?
Go check out some social casting.
Check it out. And we're going to tell you, check out VaughnLive.tv. Start there, VaughnLive.tv. We're going to promote a site each and every week. But if you want to see what Bubba does in the cyberspace world or what I do on the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast, and Paulie Wood's going to be in there with me, and we just all do stuff together. Again, it's VaughnLive.tv. Check it out. That is hardcore, and you can't be a wimp. You'll know if you belong probably within 10 or 15 minutes of you walking into a room and just observing. Okay.
Yeah, I guess when you get to Vaughn Live, look for Bubba Ganoush in the Scrag and tell him that the Foxxcast sent you. We'd love to see you in there.
That's right. Let us know because we're going to give we have Raunch Foxx mugs to give away and some other swag. And as you start letting us know who you are, you can send us an email at raunchfoxx.com. Raunch Foxx at Gmail. Also, it's the official page. It's Raunch Foxx official page on Facebook, Raunch Foxx on YouTube, on Podomatic. You can hear all of our podcasts, Raunch Foxx Foxxcast, and that's with 3 X's on Podomatic, also on iTunes, also on Spreaker, and we're out there. So also on raunchfoxx.com. So be sure to check it all out. Let us know who you are. If you've got an idea for a show, shoot us an email, and we'd love to hear about it. And if you want to be part of the show and call in on Skype, we'd love to know who you are. And bring a topic, and we'll get crazy with it. So, Bubba, Paulie, with that being said, episode 14 is in the can, and we do hope to catch everybody again next week right here on Earthcast Radio. We'll see you next time, everybody. Good night.
Would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Except you fuck.
Are you ready?
For what?
Good, old-fashioned, all-American fun.
And now, back to the only white man that makes...
That's all, folks.
That wraps up another edition of the Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast. If you're a glutton for punishment, keep coming back for more, and don't forget to check out RaunchFoxx.com. The Raunch Foxxx Foxxcast. Seen and heard around the web and the main vein of Earthcast Radio.